We're going to dive into the deep reasons of why you revenge trade, why sometimes you just have a weak mentality when it comes to taking your loss, when it comes to not understanding why your trade didn't work out, and pretty much how to detach from the emotional reality of not everything that's going to work out every single time. Okay, so we're going to get into the neurological receptor reasons why your brain reacts the way it does when it comes to revenge trading and trading multiple times, even though you know you shouldn't be. All right, so let's get into it. So God says here, if you retaliate, then let it be equivalent to what you have suffered. But if you patiently endure, it is certainly best for those who are patient. So the reason why you guys revenge trade as well is because you're feeding for another setup. You're feeding to get in, you're feeding to make some bread, but you're not making any bread. You're just losing consistently. You're losing over and over and over and over again. You're not making strong logical decisions, and you're still feeding from bread instead of taking a step back, putting everything into a logical perspective, forming a plan, and then sticking to that plan every single time. And once you understand how the congruency, discipline, and patience all comes together, then maybe you'll start seeing your P&L go up and start seeing some bread come in your pocket. But until then, that's not going to happen. You need to start being patient. You need to stop crashing out whenever you take a loss. You need to stop trying to trade every day. You need to stop trying to trade every setup and just let the bread come to you. So, revenge trading. So, initial loss, that emotion when you feel, when you see your red P&L, when you see money out of your account, really analyze yourself. Do you feel anxiety? Do you feel like a failure? Do you feel like you might need to quit? The trader is going to experience a significant loss. It's going to trigger a lot of emotional distress, and it might not even subconsciously hit you immediately, but you might just make an action of no way, stop loss got hit that fast. Or some of you guys, especially my futures and forex traders, you have a mistake of dragging stop loss, or even on options traders too, if you guys are trading with stop loss. On options, I don't recommend trading with stop loss. You can watch my video on that. But as far as the initial loss, you guys need to be completely okay with losing the amount that you said you were going to lose. No dragging stop loss, no dragging your orders while you're currently just in a trade that you should have been out of. Just stop doing that. If you know you should be clipped out, get out. Take that loss like a man or a woman and hop off the charts. Plan your next setup, come back stronger, and watch how things get a lot easier from there. Okay. So impulsive recovery attempts. So the trader is going to quickly make unplanned trades in an event to recover lost funds. Don't do this. If you lost some bread, okay, say you told yourself you were going to lose $200, okay? You lose that $200, it's gone now. That's it, okay? Don't put down another trade. Don't put down more size, trying to compensate for that loss, trying to make it back up in 1 second. You can't make back up a loss in 1 second. You got to learn from it, really take that L, sit on it, and then wait for the next A plus setup to come to you. You got to let the A plus setups come to you. Some of you guys are trying to force the bread within the market, and you're scalping. Your P&L is looking like this. You know, your P&L should ultimately be looking like this. Graduals, retracement, not structural up and down, up, down, up, down. That's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of depression induced funds related, situations put in onto yourself because the fact that you want to just put on any type of risk, destroy your risk to reward. You might not even be consciously doing that, but if you overtrade, say said you were going to lose $200 and then you lose 400, 600 due to the fact you took two other trades or two other scalps, you're destroying your risk to reward. So even though you're not inherently crashing out your account by just putting a bunch of size on one trade, you're doing it by taking multiple chips off the table instead of just taking one chip off the table at a time. Okay. So, which is going to lead to increased risk taking. So higher risk trades are executed, often disregarding established trading strategies and plans. There's been times where a market's just been landsliding and I've been just trying to buy it up. Okay. Trying to catch the bottom, putting on size, thinking I'm going to catch a sweep up, and absolutely got destroyed. So you guys don't need to be making those mistakes. Don't be putting on more size after you just took a loss. Please stick to your risk. Don't upsize after you take a loss. Because what's going to happen is if you lose again, you're going to get into a very destructive mindset. You're going to be like, why did I just blow my account within a couple of trades when I could have been disciplined? I could have been making good decisions. Okay. So this is why God really tells us to be disciplined so we don't destroy ourselves. We're not strong enough to be undisciplined as human beings. We need to be making sure that we're on our P's and Q's, making sure we know what we're doing, making sure we're making logical decisions. Otherwise, we're going to end up crying, end up sad, and end up asking, why did we do that? Okay. So further losses. The impulsive trading result in greater losses, compounding the initial emotional distress. So as you keep losing, you're going to really crumble yourself down. You're going to ask, why did I lose? Is this really for me? Am I really going to be able to progress? Okay. And that's going to lead you to the cycle of despair. And the trader is going to become in a cycle of despair, leading to ongoing financial and emotional turmoil. Feeling like trading is not for you, feeling like you're not going to succeed, feeling like you're just an absolute failure. And I'm here to tell you that it's not true. You've been losing for a couple of years. I don't care how long you've been losing. It doesn't matter. You can get right. Don't trip. Just get your patience down packed. Okay. You guys need to lower your anxiety. Some of you guys are closing your trades before take profit. You're not going to be able to get rich doing minuscule things like that. Okay. It's going to lead you to revenge trading when you don't feel like you're getting your share from the market. When you're making good profit, you don't care to do things like revenge trade and stuff like that. When you're winning consistently and you have your emotions under control, you really don't care to do things like that. If you're revenge trading, you're probably not technically advanced yet, and you probably still have some chart work to do, because you shouldn't be losing that much to the point where like you're crashing out. That's just not ultimately realistic. So you need to gain a stronger edge on the market. StackMODE done that for my free course, free ebook, just everything on my YouTube. So much free information out there. You should understand how the chart works. So loss aversion. So loss aversion is going to drive traders to react impulsively to losses. Okay, and that's going to lead to further unsuccessful attempts at recovery and put you in more distress. Okay. When you take your loss, when you take your L, I don't care if it's in real life, on the charts, it is what it is. You got to take your L as a man or woman. You got to keep it pushing, and you can't trip over it. Some of y'all trip way too much. You trip over every little thing. You can't take an L to the chest. And if you can't take an L to the chest, you're not ready to be balling. You're not ready to be a ball player. Okay. And the reason why you can't take an L to the chest is because some of you guys do have ego. Okay. So your ego takes a hit whenever you do take a loss, especially when something like trading, where it's not as predictable initially, especially without a good understanding. And losses can really damage your psychology, your self-image, and it could really prompt irrational decisions if you let it. So don't be a weak pansy. Don't let those weak moments destroy everything that you've been working towards. A couple of moments of weakness can destroy everything if you let it. So just relax, really think about everything that you're doing, because you could honestly have a six-figure account. If you decide to put on some unnecessary size, you could completely lose everything within a couple of days, if not one day. Okay. So you have to understand that trading, you have to be your own boss. Okay. This is why being with God is going to be extremely important, to really just regulate yourself, assess yourself, and humble yourself. Okay. So you don't lose yourself. All right. So cognitive bias. So overconfidence in the sunk cost fallacy, cloud judgment. Okay, that's going to compel traders to make high-risk decisions that exacerbate their financial struggles. So some of you guys might be desperate. You might have bills that need to be paid. You might be in debt or something right now. You might need some bread to pay for something. You don't need to be trading right now. Go work on your business, go run up some bread, and then come back to the market. Please do not trade out of desperation, because when you're in desperation mode and you come onto the markets, it's going to lead to bad financial decisions such as revenge trading. You're going to be thinking about bread instead of thinking about catching the A+ setup, your discipline and your consistency. You're going to lose yourself. So make sure you guys have a good mental outside of the charts. Okay, make sure you guys aren't depressed. Make sure you guys are just praying. Make sure you guys are eating healthy. If you're in a bad mental environment, you do not need to be on the charts. I'm going to repeat it one more time. If you are in a bad mental state, you do not need to be on the charts right now. Okay, putting on size. Fix your mental state. Go get right with God and then come back. Because if you're doing stupid shit when you're depressed, you're going to blow all your money. And there's been times where people have killed themselves, etc. Okay, you can easily put yourself in a spiral over a couple of bad decisions. Don't do that. Don't trade with your mortgage money. Don't trade with your kids' college funds. Don't trade with your savings that you need in case a rainy day comes. Any high risk bread that you have saved, stashed away, don't do stupid shit with it, please. Okay? So understand that emotional triggers and biases are going to happen. Okay? But you have to stay logical. You have to stay congruent. Never be biased within the market. Play what's in front of you. Play the logical formation of whatever you're looking for. Okay? If you're playing a long breakout, wait for the resistances to be broken. You can wait for a close if you want. If you're playing break and retest, wait for resistance to turn into support or support to turn into resistance. If you're playing a reversal, wait for supports to be met up or wait for resistances to be met up. All right, just keep it congruent, keep it logical, stick to your system. Some of you guys are unprofitable because you don't stick to your system. You don't stick to your rules. You don't stick to what you say. Some of you guys are really just talkers in this world. Y'all don't get up. Y'all don't stick to your words. You don't stick to what you believe in. You don't stick to anything. And you're just moving around loose. And then you say you want to be a boss and you're really just being a clown. So stop lying to yourself and really lock in. So the need to win, psychological impact. Okay, the need to win, the desperation to win. If y'all are in a sense of trading around people right now, one, stop telling people that you trade. Stop. Don't tell anybody that you trade. That's one. Unless they're also in the market, especially when you're unprofitable. Don't tell people that you trade. You don't need anyone else's mindset to be seeping into yours. You don't need praise from them, or you don't need any type of negativity from them. Okay, just keep it to yourself. Be profitable. This is your journey. Unless you decide to post on YouTube, post your P&L, start a community, and help others, I understand. But for the most part, your personal life, just keep trading for the most part to yourself. Unless you have some friends or family that you know are grinders and are actually trying to get some bread, okay, maybe you could tell them that. But to the most part, don't go around telling people that you're a trader and things like that. Okay, because that's going to emotionally affect you negatively. Nobody cares. That's how you have to move. Even if people do care, say for instance you have a Lamborghini, it's a flock of people around you, you shouldn't care. You can't care no matter what. You have to understand that you do this for you. You do this for God, you do this for you. Okay? You do this for your family. You can't trip, you can't get lost in the sauce, because you start telling everyone that you trade, you start telling everyone that you make this bread. When you come onto the markets and you lose, you don't make that bread, you're going to make dumb decisions trying to set up that image, that stupid image that you set up for yourself. When you should care about your P&L and your performance. Don't do anything to impress others. It literally doesn't matter. That's one of the lamest things you could do. Just stick to your P&L, stick to your journey, and do your thing. Because it can become a double-edged sword. You can start trading for P&L, start trading for views, start trading for the wrong reasons. And ultimately, that's going to affect your psychology on the charts. Okay? So it can motivate some traders towards discipline and skill. Say for me, for example, I do run my Discord and I do post recaps and stuff like that. So that does motivate me to prioritize my discipline, consistency, making sure that I'm sticking to my A+ setups, because I want to make sure that my Discord members are maximizing their profits and that I'm maximizing my profits as well too. Okay. But you have to understand that when it comes to losses, you have to be ready to face the same thing and face the music there too. Okay. So it's going to need to really seep into your brain, and it might compel you to engage in revenge trading, but just don't do it. Don't jeopardize your well-being. Don't jeopardize your financial well-being, and understand that the psychological dynamic is crucial for developing effective strategies to just manage that impulsive behavior. You have to manage impulsive behavior. Some of you are just dead broke. Y'all are in terrible situations. Y'all are in horrible, horrible situations because of quick impulsive behavior. If you stopped for a moment and actually thought about what you were going to do, you wouldn't regret it later. You wouldn't be crying the next day later. You wouldn't be emotional the next day later that you blew your account or made some dumb, stupid decision. All right, you have to maintain emotional balance. Really make sure you're moving within a structured way so you don't crumble yourself. Your confidence within yourself should also move linear. Okay, your life should not be moving like a swing chart here. Should not be going up and then all the way down, up and then all the way down. Your life should be pretty consistently going in an upwards direction. If your life isn't consistently going in an upwards direction, you're definitely doing something wrong. You need to analyze yourself as a human being. You're probably lazy or disgusting or ego-ridden or just a couple of things, and that's all fine. You can go to God about it and just really change yourself. But your life should generally be only getting better. If your life isn't getting better, then something is definitely getting into your brain that just doesn't need to be there because you're just bullshitting. So, brain mechanisms explained. Okay. So there's going to be a piece of your brain called the amygdala. Okay. The amygdala is a piece of your brain that triggers stress. So whenever you guys are feeling like you're about to crash out, that's your amygdala. Okay. Some of you need to train that. Okay. You can train your amygdala. You can train yourself for making impulsive crashing out decisions. Some of you guys are quick to get angry, but you guys don't even like go through anything. You guys have to understand that there's people out here spending like $10,000 a day on their business alone, and the type of financial stress that you think you're going through, you don't understand that these higher level people are going through at all. And these people handle it just fine. Okay. So if you're talking about being a boss, you can't crash out. Some of y'all like to destroy things as well too, like to just be breaking stuff, slamming stuff. All that shit has to stop. That's all for kids. That's little boy games. That's little girl games. You can't be crashing out, destroying everything because of a loss. You got to really take it in a calculated perspective and take everything in as a lesson. Otherwise, you're not going to progress at all. And your prefrontal cortex also plays a role in this too. So the prefrontal cortex is going to control planning. So your prefrontal cortex controls planning and impulse regulation. Okay. So your prefrontal cortex is kind of like the opposite of your amygdala. So your prefrontal cortex is kind of like your logical side. That's when you turn your brain on. Some of you guys need to turn your prefrontal cortex on. There's a lot of human beings who walk around this earth without their prefrontal cortex on. No planning, just moving off of straight impulse, no logical plan, making some of the worst decisions in the entire world. And then people wonder why they aren't getting anywhere. And you really have to just analyze what you're doing, what you're eating, who you're hanging around, who you're with, what you're spending your money on, how hard you're working, and then we'll talk about getting some success. Some of you guys are hanging around just unproductive, unsuccessful, unlogical people who aren't teaching you anything. And then you say you want to be successful. Some of you are continuously indulging in content that's there to keep you trapped, such as like porn or something like that, for example, where you keep coming back to it, keep feeding that endless lust hunger that is never going to be fulfilled. So you need to get right with God with that too. Some of you guys have food addictions. You keep digging in the chips. You can't put the chips down. You keep copping them. You keep copping them. You keep destroying yourself. All these addictions, they're gonna ruin your prefrontal cortex. So you have to understand that a lot of traders that you're trading against are extremely disciplined people. These people just wake up. A lot of them are just God-fearing people, take care of their family, and just work extremely hard. That's why they run communities, etc. And some have other businesses. Umar Ashar, for example, running TradeZilla. You could still run a 10, 11, 12-figure corporation on the side as trading. So there's no such thing as just doing one thing as well, too. Some of you guys cap yourself. Some of you guys quit your job way too fucking early. You are not in a financial position to be trying to just trade alone right now. Okay? You need to just really lock in. If you have people to take care of, you cannot quit your job. If you're single, okay, quit your job and take the risk. But if you have people to take care of, you do not need to be doing rash decisions like that. You need to just push your workload. Okay? You can work, you can do your business, you can trade, you can do another business. You can really push your workload. You guys have to understand these people who are billionaires or et cetera like that have multiple corporations, are doing multiple different things, are handling multiple different environments of workload. Okay, Elon, for example, handling Tesla, handling SpaceX, handling Doge, three different corporations and from one individual, all globally world renowned. So really push your workload. As human beings, we were also born to be slaves. So slaves also were able to push their workload underneath any circumstance because slaves didn't want to die, starve, or lose their family, or have something happen to them. So slaves worked. So as human beings, we're meant to work. If you're not working, you're just a lazy piece of shit and you're not going to be successful. And you're not meant to be successful. So you're going to come onto the charts expecting to make easy bread, and you can continue to be undisciplined, and you're going to be the liquidity for people who actually want to have their prefrontal cortex on and actually want to trust God and listen to God and not be greedy, disgusting, sloppy pig. And you're going to be able to give the disciplined people bread. So if you want to be undisciplined, thank you, because you're making the disciplined people's lives extremely easy. But if you want to be a disciplined person, everything can change. It just starts with you. Consequences. There's a lot of consequences you're going to face for revenge trading. Financial losses. If you lose certain things that you don't want to lose, such as a savings account that you put into the market and then you decided to blow it up, a couple weeks later, a couple months down the line, you might feel horrible, especially if you need that bread. Okay, so don't revenge trade. Please stick to your risk management. I'm trying to save you guys from depression that I've gone through before, and you guys can really avoid it by just listening to these steps. So understand that revenge trading often leads to significantly amplified losses that erodes all your capital. Have you ever taken a trade and you lost significantly more than you expected? It throws off everything. It throws off all the planning. It throws off everything. The fact that you lost doesn't even matter anymore. It's really the fact that the plan is off. That's what went down. So human beings, we sometimes get shocked when the plan is off. Say if a relationship doesn't work out. You're not shocked certain times based on events, but you can be shocked that the plan in your head didn't work out. And sometimes that can be shocking for a bit, okay? But you do have to train that life is not in your hand and God has everything planned. So you got to really take that loss as a lesson, transmute that energy, and continue to go forward. Whatever you go through, you got to take all that pain, you got to transmute every ounce of pain that you go through within this world. Whatever anyone does to you, whatever you do to yourself, how much money you lose, you got to transmute every ounce of energy and pain. Don't go sit in that bed depressed. Don't go crying, because that's not going to do nothing. You need to transmute that energy and continue to go forward. There's people who've gotten out of crazy situations, financial wise, real life wise, doesn't matter. There's people who've climbed out of millions of dollars worth of debt, people who've traveled countries just to live a normal life. Human beings are capable of some strong things, but you need to learn to transmute and talk to God, and you guys are going to be able to become a much more powerful person. You won't crumble. The impulsive decisions are going to be able to stop. You're going to have a grasp on your reality. You're going to have control over yourself. You're going to have control over the way that you want your future to look. Okay? And alhamdulillah, this is why God blesses us with free will. If you decide to be disciplined and consistent, inshallah, you'll live a decent life. But if you decide to be sloppy, greedy, disgusting, and lazy, then you'll live a horrible life. Okay, filled with impulsive decision making. And the reason why you're probably making impulsive decisions is because your life is probably bad. You wouldn't be making impulsive decisions if your life was already in order. Say fighting, for example. If you have a name, you wouldn't do stupid things. You wouldn't be fighting. You wouldn't let people just do certain things to you, especially if you're a renowned figure. Okay, you just move smarter. So if you're doing impulsive things, you're probably just desperate. Your mindset is just low, and you need to just really just think of yourself as a boss, have more respect for yourself, and move better. Don't neglect your risk management as well. So understand that revenge trading is going to involve neglecting your risk management. You're not thinking about your future. Some of you guys are just thinking about right now, and then you want to think about your future later. And it's goofy. It's clown activity. But sometimes that happens as humans. It's cool. It's trim. And this is why we learn. But you guys cannot let this happen year after year after year after year. Some of you guys have been trading way too long and you're still not seeing the success that you want to see. At this point, it's based on you. Okay? The long-term effects are subsiding within you. Okay? So continuous revenge trading can lead to bad habits, burnout, addiction. Okay? And it's going to severely impact your lives. You might think, oh, trading's stupid. It's not for me. It's a scam. You might down talk it and then see people rolling in money, pulling 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures from the market, consistent, being disciplined. And in the back of your head, you know you want to trade. You know you want to come back to the markets. But are you ready? Are you ready to win? And as human beings, sometimes we think that we're ready to win, but you got to really just reflect and you got to understand that you got to turn up. You got to get better. You got to go harder. Because if you don't change your mindset, if you don't change your perspective, you're going to sit in that same spot. Love you guys so much. StackMode.net for trading education. Stay prayed up to God. Free course, free ebook. You can join my Discord and speak to me for first time for free at StackMode.net. Peace.